feels like moving it when the money's built up for him. Not because you got to go to bed or it's time for you to get your clothes on and go to work. He don't care about that. He cares about money. So if he holds the level for an extended amount of time, it doesn't mean the trade's necessarily bad. But I want you to take it off. Why give him the opportunity? The criteria has broken down. If you get stopped out, you wait 2 hours. 3 candles vector, 45 minutes. First leg pull back, 30 minutes. Second leg comes in, 15 to 30 minutes. 2 hours. Look for the entry. Next level settles in. If you get stopped out, come back and evaluate the chart in about 90 minutes and then look for your entry about 2 hours in. The time element. He's testing your patience with time. Something that no trader has because you got to go to work, your kids are screaming, you're tired, you got to get up early tomorrow, you got to take a nap, whatever. The time element is something that very few people realize and is overlooked all the time. He does it to bust your chops, man. Okay? The moves are carried out over a time interval and induce traders to take positions even when they're not ready because you feel like you've got to get something going. Forces you to make up stuff. Okay, if you're caught by the market maker by this move, wait for the next rise or fall. Minimum of 2 hours. Now here's a very important note. If you took the move in London and he snagged you, and it's coming up on the US session, the red box is starting to show up, wait for the changeover. Okay? If he snagged you and it's the end of the day, get your money back in London. Don't jump on something to try to get back at him. You're not going to win and beat him by trying to get back at him. You're not here to get even, you're here to get paid. Okay? You're in a trade, you get stopped out. Next level strike zone, 25 to 50 pips higher. The pattern appears, minimum 2 hours. If you're close to the session changeover, hold and wait. Wait for the session changeover. When the session changeover appears, look for a fresh set of signals. W formation reversal, M formation reversal back into the range. Breakaway trade or straightaway trade continuation if you're at level 2. Take it. You'll make your money back. If you control your loss, you'll end the day net positive. If you don't let the loss turn into a big, ridiculous move, you'll end net positive. Am I talking too fast? Someone says, pop a Diet Coke. I don't know. I'm jacked up, man. Having a good time. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Okay. It's a good point to see. Car, are you on tonight? Are you here? Anybody let that guy in? Do I have to give control over to him? How does that work? His mic is still muted. Somebody unmute Car, please. Organizer.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, beautiful. All right, listen.
I'm here, Steve.
Okay, hang in there a minute. Some of you guys know Car, some of you don't. He's a fantastic trader. He does the free sessions on Sunday night going through the levels. We call it Counting with Car. That's as funny as I could get. Counting cards, I don't know. Counting with Car. All right, what he's going to do now is a lot of guys don't know how to mark up the charts. He's going to spend the next 45 minutes, takes you to about 11 o'clock, of marking up the charts. If you are a veteran and have been here, you can go to bed now. I'm not going to say anything else. You're not going to miss anything else if you've heard Car and you're part of the sessions. Wayne, how you doing? Okay, listen, I'm going to shut my mouth. He's going to go till about 11. I'll give you the homework when he's done, what I want you to do tonight. Remember one thing. Do not submit homework to me after 4 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. I won't have it done in time. It's not fair for me to get up, try to eat something, and grade homework right before. I'll be up all night looking at it, and all morning I'll go to bed, I'll get up, do some more. But don't send it to me at 5 minutes to 6 and go, why didn't you do my homework, Steve? That's wrong on so many levels. All right? I'm having a great time. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow night. I'll be back in here at 11 to go over the assignment. Car, it's all yours, buddy.
All right, thank you, Steve. All right, guys, welcome. I'm sure you guys enjoyed the class with Steve. I did. It's always amazing. Every time I attend the class, I learn different things, and you know, I always attend every single class Steve does, because you never know what he comes up with in terms of insightfulness. So I'm sure you guys are seeing my screen right now. All right, so very quickly, what I'm going to do is show you guys how to do the homework. Okay, so normally I start off with a 1 hour chart. Okay, so you know what, before I do that, for the new people, let me introduce myself very quickly. I met Steve at the old venue, and Steve was actually a teacher, and I personally believe in destiny. So what actually happened was, I was supposed to be in Budapest for vacation, and it just so happened that the ticket between the day I bought it to the previous day was significant. So I said, you know what, I'm not gonna go. And I called up the company and I said, hey, I need to take a class. I got 3 days, I want to take a class. They're like, all right, cool, you've already paid for the class, you can attend this class. They said, yeah, this guy is teaching, his name is Steve. And I'm like, is that guy any good? I've never heard of this guy. I mean, he's not like somebody that I know from CNBC or something. So they're like, nah, he's pretty good. He talks a little too fast, he's jacked up on Diet Coke, but he's pretty good. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go attend this class. So I walk into the class, and there was about 20-something people there, and I sit, and the guy goes, Steve starts his speech, and he goes, okay, man, do you guys want to make money, or do you guys want me to teach from the book? And I'm like, come on, of course he wants you to show us how to make money. I can read the book myself, right? So okay, I'm speaking into my headphone actually. So I said, all right, do you know what? Show us how you make money. So he said, all right, good, I'm going to show you guys how to make money. So he takes the book and he throws it into the garbage. And I'm like, oh, throwing a book into the garbage, man, that's interesting. He said, yep, you don't need this stuff. This is all garbage. I'm going to teach you the real stuff. So we were like, all right, that sounds cool. And then he says, all right, I'm going to give you guys a test. I want to see what you guys know. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, how are you giving us a test? He hasn't even taught us anything. He said, well, I want to see how much you guys know, how much garbage you have in your head, and then I'll help you unravel some of the garbage. So, and sure enough, he did. He showed us some of the stuff, and after the class was over, I just sat there and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to kill it. Because the way he was teaching us was totally different from everything else I've ever learned. And not that I've learned from a lot of teachers, but just, you read a lot of books, you try to get an education through the internet because you don't feel like paying for it, all that stuff. So anyway, to make a long story short, the lesson learned were tremendous. And as Steve went out on his own and he started teaching us, he started improving in terms of delivery and in terms of material and in terms of clarity. And every time he does a session like this and people ask questions, he updates his chart and he updates his PowerPoint to make things a lot easier for us to understand it. So anyway, after I finished the class, I was like, yeah, I got this stuff. So I started trading, and obviously I haven't done the homework by that time, so I was like, I got this stuff down. I didn't do the homework for about a good several months. And then when Steve came back to teach the class, he's like, did you do the homework? I'm like, no. So anyway, to make a long story short, after he called me out on it, I spent a couple of months doing homework. A month or so, just sat down and I feel like a madman. I went back on all the majors. I went back a year or so, and then I just did all the homework. And in Orlando, when I went down to Orlando, I handed him a flash drive with a bunch of other people's homework, and we just handed it to Steve and we're like, here's the homework. And he was, he said, all right, cool, at least now you got it. And since doing the homework, I actually understand the oscillation of the market. That's a word that Ray Jarvis uses, oscillation of the market, okay? So let me show you very quickly on how to understand the oscillation of the market as it moves. Okay, so on the 1 hour chart, all I do is mark my levels, so I know exactly what I'm looking for, where I'm going with it. So for example, in euro dollar, I'll say, okay, this is peak formation high, right? I know why, because if you look to the left, you see 3 levels going up, right? So I don't want to keep going back, otherwise you'll keep going back. So let's start from here. It starts oscillating up here. Notice how it oscillates right up to the high. Every time it hits the high, it hits the stop, it comes back down, it comes back up, induce, and then it comes back and hits the stop, it comes back down. Okay, so I'm watching this and I realized I'm in level 3 because there were 2 other levels from below before. Then you see a sharp drop, then you see a consolidation. So what I do is I draw boxes around my consolidation because I can see consolidation easier. Because if I don't mark the consolidation, if I start seeing the drop, then I'm like, oh, that's the drop. But you know, I'm just drawing my box from the low to the high, and I'm just trying to see how it's oscillating within the box. So once it takes out, breaks below my box, then I know I'm at a different level. That's how I look at it. How do you draw the box? Okay, so I know I showed this during the when we were downloading indicators and stuff, so I'm just going to go through this like in 10 seconds. Okay, anywhere in here you right click and you click customize, and on the left hand side you will find triangle and ellipse and all this other stuff. You'll also find the box. You select it and you click insert, and it'll pop up over here, and you just close it. Okay, there is 2 texts. One is A and one is called text label T. Always use the one that says A. The reason for that is because as you scroll the screen, the verbiage is going to go with the screen, not get stuck over here, and then as you scroll the screen, the thing is still over there. Then you're like, what the heck am I looking at? Okay, so that's the purpose of using the A instead of the T. Okay, so you draw these boxes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw these boxes with you so you guys see how to do it. Okay, you can change the color of the box. So for example, if I'm drawing a box right here, originally it's going to look like this, like that. Okay, you double click on it, it'll just drop. You double click on it, you have these little dots on the side, and you right click, click rectangle properties, and you can change the width of the box, how wide how thick you want the box. And then when I uncheck this, now it's clear in the inside. Okay, it's clear on the inside. And then when I double click it, I can move the box anywhere I want. And once I double click it again, once those little dots disappear, I can move it. I can move my whole screen. I have to double click to delete it. Okay, so that's how I draw my boxes on the 1 hour chart. Now, the reason this thing is in blue in color, because that's how I differentiate. Once I look at a chart and I know it's blue, for me, it's the 1 hour chart. For some of you, you will be, you know what, I don't like it this way. And that's cool. What you can do is make this black in color. And the reason I say that is because you can shift. You can take this and change it to different time frames. What I mean by that, okay, so for example, let's go through this, how to do this. Okay, so I have my level 3, quick drop. Level 1, I draw the box, it breaks it, I'm in level 2, it breaks it again, I'm in level 3. Now remember, in level 3 market makers are all in, right? And then you see your pattern, and now you're looking at it and like, all right, what is actually happening? Am I going to rise? Am I going to drop? That's the decision you got to make after you view your chart, and you're going to look at it like, all right, man, it's coming up to the high. It looks like it's forming an M pattern at London, right? Railroad track, second leg, boom, you know that's the short. Okay, that's the short. Yes, there's a little head and shoulder pattern, and all you're doing in the 1 hour, just marking off levels. On the 15 minutes, oops, hold on 1 second, let me just bring my 15-minute chart over. On the 15 minutes, you're actually looking at your entries. Okay, now if you take the 1 hour levels and you transpose it, what I'm going to show you how to do that, then you're going to be easily see that you don't have to mark the levels off again. So let me show that to you. All right, so let's start a new chart. So how do you get a new chart? You click the market watch, and let's say I'm going to take euro dollar, right? If I obviously grab euro dollar and throw it in, it's not going to make any difference. I'm already in euro dollar, but I want a different chart. So you have to hold down the control key and take euro dollar and drop it in. The minute I do that, it's going to drop in. This is how I set my default. So it's automatically going to drop in my black screen, my black chart. Okay. automatically set for 15 minutes. I'm going to change it to the 1 hour chart. Okay, for those people who notice it, these are little things, either the moving average Granny likes to use. But anyway, I have that over here. Okay, so